So, I summarized this. There's a lot of flavor text you can read about all this, but back in the day, I don't know how many years this was long ago in the game, but, you know, I am Nerevar. I am Nerevar Reborn. You know, I am the Nerevarine. The dwarfs of this game, I'll make this really simple if you don't catch all of this. The dwarfs of this game, the Dwemer, were these godless heathens that believed in technology. The people that ruled this island, you know, you got Vivek, you got Nerevar, you know, they fought against the dwarfs. There was a great war that happened here, right? Because, well, technology bad. Essentially what happened was they got too close to godhood. They fucked with technology so bad, you know, these tools that they found, that, you know, they wrote themselves out of history, essentially. And these tools were so powerful. These were like the essence of a god, the stone that these crafted these tools out of, right? You know, when the Dwemer were gone, the dwarves essentially, they were like, what do we do with these things that we were like waging a war against? And they just said, well, let's not fuck with them. Let's just leave it as is. And they couldn't. So they made themselves gods. And that's why Vivek here he's not really a god. They are gods, but they are essentially not really gods. They are, but not really. But anyway, about what's going on here. They've defeated Dagoth in the past and all that, but he's becoming stronger and stronger because he can't really die because he's, you know, they're all demigods. And he's not going to die as long as he's got a piece of these tools as well. They don't really have these tools. And they have to go to this place every time to recharge their demigodness, which is kind of like a battery recharge, but he keeps getting stronger. So they're kind of getting kicked out every time. And that's why these guys are losing power. Now, Dagoth is growing stronger every time, and that's why he's setting out these blight diseases all across this island. What that results in is that these sleepers are awakening. It's kind of like a Cthulhu thing, where they're having dreams about him. I had dreams about Dagoth, and yeah, it's becoming a big problem because slowly everyone's just kind of being drawn to Dagoth here. And me being Nerevar, you know, Dagoth and I used to be friends. You know, but he was just driven too mad by these powers. And when we actually meet Dagoth, he's not like a, you know, cigar-smoking villain. He's like, old friend, I see you've returned. But Vivek himself, for example, he persecutes anything about the Nerevarine. In fact, there's been many Nerevarines across Morrowind claiming to be essentially Jesus, but they've all failed, you know. And it's kind of really blasphemy to imply anything about, you know, Vivek not being as godly as he is, because he has powers. But anyway, there's a lot of text you can also read about this. The moon and star, by the way, this was used to unite all the tribes on, it's a ring basically, and it used to Nerevar united all the Ashlanders and everybody who lived here against the Dwemer here, you know. He was the one of the generals that, you know, did the war against the Dwemer. You know, let me pull up some pictures for you while we're talking about this, because there's a lot of really cool imagery here. It's a little low resolution picture, but you get the idea here. But yeah, anyway, this is the battle at Red Mountain, right? And there's some conflicting story stuff here, and I know that if that's part of the game, or it's just intentionally misleading because of different accounts in the game. Temple Doctrine claims that the apotheosis was miraculously achieved through questing, virtue, knowledge, testing, and battling with evil. So they're not saying, well, they're not letting the public, yeah, we basically cheated to godhood. They're just like, nah, we did it with knowledge. We were so good with it. Source in the Apocrypha, this suggests that the tribunal relied on profanely enchanted tools to achieve godhead, and that those unholy devices were the ones originally created by the ungodly Dwemer sorcerer Kagrenac to create the false construct Numidium. The public account portrays the actions of the tribunal in a heroic light, while the hidden writings reveal secrets, untruths, inconsistencies, conflicting accounts, and varying interpretations, which hint at a darker and less heroic motives and actions of the tribunes? That's how you say that. Here's the thing. The tribunal, this was a while ago, and I think they've also kind of lost their minds a little bit. And they initially lost their minds too, because this power was so tempting. And I'll try to go into this new, but here Here we go. Temple accounts of the Battle of Red Mountain. Because again, this war was waged between, you know, the Dwemer and the Dunmer. Anyway, Ashlandish tradition does not place the tribunal at Red Mountain and holds that the Dwemer destroyed themselves rather than the Nerevar destroyed them. Ashlandish tradition further holds that Nerevar left Daggothur guarding the profane secrets of Red Mountain, while Nerevar went to confer with the Grand Council, i.e. the Tribunal. That Nerevar died at the conference, not of his wounds, according to the Ashlandish, but from treachery. And that subsequently, the Tribunal confronted the defiant Daggothur within Red Mountain, then drove Daggothur beneath Red Mountain when he would not yield at their will. So, they fucking killed him. They killed him. There's Vivek stabbing Nerevar. Almalexia on the right there, and Sothasil here on the left, ripping off his face. His face was also the ground basis for the Ordinator's face. If you take a look at the bottom left, the guy who's stuck in the ground, that's Daggoth-Ur. This is basically them just being so corrupted by their god powers that they're like, well shit, let's just make no claim of anything. Let's just be gods. And I believe Nerevar did not agree with that, and that's why he went. But some conflicting things that he did not get betrayed, I don't remember, but pretty sure it was just Almalexia who killed him, but the rest just went along with it. You're speaking some real heresy right now. The Tribunal will not be pleased. Anyway, you know, there's a lot of you know, the Ashlanders here on Morrowind. They all want a new Nerarine. I'm not the first one, but basically when Nerevar comes back, he's gonna drive off all the blight that Red Mountain is causing and all that. It's basically a messiah story, you know. Basically, the dissident priests don't hate the Tribunal, you know. They're with them, but they just don't agree with how secret and scummy it is, you know. Yeah, it's basically that the Vivek is holding too much of an iron grip on everything, and they wish they could just unify instead of, you know. The contradicting stories on an in-game thing. If you play Daggerfall, they explain what the medium is active. Reality collapses temporarily in an event called a dragon break, and every possibility becomes true when it turns off, so all the conflicting accounts are likely true. Interesting you bring that up, because in Daggerfall, all the endings are canon. All of them. And in later games, there's a book called A Warp in the West, and I believe Warp in the West is in this game too. It's really confusing. Do we find out what happened to the Dwemer? No, we don't. You ask one of the last dwarfs in this game what happened to them, and he's like, "Fuck if I know." But yeah, the dwarfs in all of Elder Scrolls, they fucked themselves out of existence over this whole discovery that they found, and they you know, something in Skyrim gives a bit of a hint, but I didn't play too much of Skyrim, so but if you're interested in this lore, I highly recommend you check out the various wiki pages and stuff like that. There's tons on this game, and I'm doing a really piss poor job explaining everything, but trust me, this shit goes deep, and I encourage you to find out everything yourself.